amazing to have Nick Spanos, one of the OGs of Bitcoin. And from the beginnings of the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, to the hottest thing going now, they are les jetons non fungibles. En anglais, non-fungible tokens. Can they go from hype to mainstream? We're going to find out with Catherine Ross, our moderator. She is the host of Benzinga's Crypto Show, as well as the crypto and business editor for Benzinga's main online publication. She's joined by Miko Matsumura, who is the general partner with Gumi Ventures. Also, Gustavo Montero, who is the principal with DSCP, but also an advisor to the United Arab Emirates. Joining them, Grigory Rybalchenko. He is the CEO of Emiswap, and of course, our artist in residence, Nftartist en résidence, Amrita Sethi. You saw her present yesterday, and her artwork is still available by auction at the link below on the Terra Virtua platform. Alors, s'il vous plaît, votre accès au link pour notre vente aux échanges est disponible maintenant, mais jusqu'à 6 heures aujourd'hui. The auction runs out at 6 o'clock today, but for now, kick back and listen to Amrita, Sethi, and the rest of our panel talking about non-fungible tokens.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Africa Blockchain Week 2021. I'm your moderator, Catherine Ross, managing editor and video host of Crypto News Desk at Benzinga. Our panel is NFTs from hype to mainstream, and I'm very excited to introduce you to our guests. So we have Miko Matsumura, general partner of Gumi Ventures,
Hi.
Gustavo Montero, principal DSPC and advisor based in the United Arab Emirates, Grigory Rybalchenko, founder and CEO of Emiswap, and Amrita Sethi, an NFT artist originally from Kenya. Hi, I am so excited to see you all guys today and to talk to you.
Thanks so much. Great to be here.
So I think we're going to start with just a short intro of yourself and then your background, and then we're going to continue with the questions. Miko, could you please start?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy to represent a little bit of the infrastructure here. I'm with Gumi Cryptos Capital, and we were the lead investor in the earlier round for OpenSea. So we're very kind of committed to the platform and technology infrastructure behind the NFT movement. So, on this panel, I think I'll represent sort of the technology stack and, the capabilities. So, I think that's the best way to think about it. For what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to hold you to that. Gustavo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an engineer by training, but I was a banker for a number of years, had the chance to open Standard Chartered in Switzerland. Then I was on the board of directors of Kramer and a number of financial institutions. I left the banks a few years ago to concentrate only on blockchain and digital assets, really. And my involvement with NFTs is because I'm helping a specific group of individuals to open a new platform that is going to have very special pieces of art on that platform.
Oh, that is exciting. Rita, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amrita Sethi, and I'm actually born and brought up in Kenya. I'm a third generation Indian Kenyan, and if you know, you know. But I've been living in the UAE for the last 14 years. And I, like Gustavo, I used to actually be a banker. So I'm a banker turned traditional artist. And then, from traditional artist, I then turned NFT artist. And I was actually the first NFT artist in the UAE. My style of artwork is also something that's truly unique. It's award-winning and it's all called voice note art. So I look forward to telling you a little bit more about that later on.
For sure. Grigory.
Hello, I'm a co-founder of Emiswap, and we relate to NFTs that we have utility NFTs on our platform. So that is NFT, not just art, but something you can use and you can benefit from holding all this NFT. And also there is an opportunity to farm these NFTs to get more benefits. And of course, these NFTs, like everyone, will be able to buy and sell on our platform, or also to go to OpenSea, for example, or Terra Virtu and sell there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we're going to start with our topics. And the first one, I'm going to just do a little bit of an intro. We have seen this so-called NFT craze with the 69 million purchase of Beeple art, right? And we have seen artists and celebrities putting their art on NFT, like Snoop Dogg and The Weeknd, and many other artists. But what is happening right now? Because it seems that the market is maturing a little bit, which is a good sign. Can we talk a little bit about what is happening with the NFT applications and market right now? Miko, I know you have a lot to say.
Yeah, I'll try to keep things brief because we have such awesome other panelists. But from my perspective, we just did an investment in something called Curio, which is sort of an IP company, and they're building a lot of really interesting new interactive models on top of NFT. But I think, to be honest, I think we're exceedingly early. But I do think that we're in a very, very, very long arc. And I think it is inevitable that not only all intellectual properties and intellectual property rights will be represented in NFT and blockchain, but that all real asset values will be, including things like real estate. So, to me, it's inevitable that in the long run, that all non-fungible assets will be represented on the blockchain as NFT, right? So not just all intellectual property, including music, software, art, books, audiobooks, everything, but real assets as well. So, I think that's the inevitable future, but I must say we are crazily early. We're dead early. Like, just a quick note is I showed a demo to a friend on Zoom where I went to OpenSea, my favorite place. Obviously, we're investors there. You can right click in your browser, find the IPFS URL, and then download the media asset. And when I showed this demo, my friend was just shocked. He was like, if I don't own the media asset when I buy an NFT, then what is it that I own? And I said, well, you own a cryptographically signed hash. And his question was, why would I want to own that? And I said, why would you want to own that? And I turned it around on him, and basically the only interest in owning a cryptographically authenticated hash is if that comes with rights. If it comes with enforceable rights, whether they're legal rights or whether they're rights that are enforced by software, then you have something. Otherwise, you just have a math. You have a piece of math, and that may be something you really enjoy having. But if it doesn't have any rights attached to it, then why would you want to have that? So that's how early we are.
Yeah, sorry, my connection was interrupted for a little bit, but I hope that it's fine right now. Amrita, where do you stand on the current NFT market? How do you evaluate that? Are we still early, or is it a long way?
Well, I mean, I'll go back. I mean, we definitely are a bit still early. I mean, I launched my first NFT portfolio last year in October, but actually I was ready to launch it way before because I found out about NFTs during lockdown, and that was actually one of the most amazing things that happened to me during the pandemic, was this switch from digital art to NFT art. And I actually discovered it because the co-founder and CTO of Terra Virtua explained it to me, and actually I was the first artist even on Terra Virtua to create NFT art. And I remember that when we launched it in Dubai in October, I did it at a physical event. So I had a screen, a whole booth up, and we had a screen there. And, people looking at my physical art. And then when it came to the other, like the TV and this NFTs, nobody understood it. I remember I gave a talk. It was only people from the banking world or the technology world that was attending it. And then, and I was yabbering on, and all my friends are like, what are you talking about? Why do you keep talking about these NFTs? And at the time, I didn't call it NFTs. I actually used to just call it digital art, because I thought that I never thought in a million years that the term NFT would actually take off. And then what happened is obviously this year, when people got sold for 69 million, then everybody came to me and said, okay, what is this NFT? And it got to the point where everybody kept asking me, what is an NFT? That I actually made an NFT out of that. And I created an artwork in my signature style of voice note art called What the NFT? Because it kind of captures the incredulous, it's just as Miko was saying, and his friend was going, I don't understand that. So it literally tells the story of the NFT market so far. And the way I tried to do it was to tell the story to, as an educational tool to people who don't understand what NFTs are, but to the collectible, to people who do know in the virtual world, that they see it as more as a collectible item, right? So I do think we're still, even that now is kind of serving to me as a bit of as a blueprint when I talk about NFTs. And so I think we definitely are still early. I think to answer your full question in terms of where are we now, personally, as an NFT artist, I don't want to talk so much about the cost of NFTs anymore. I want to move away from the prices. Prices are going to normalize. What I want to focus on is what level of creativity and dimension that NFTs have brought to the art market. And my art is a classic example of the wonders of, that it's doing to my own creativity. So I'm taking, 2D images off the page into 3D animation, into immersive digital experiences that change the fundamental way people interact with art. And I think that's the conversation that we should be having.
It was very, very well put. So if I'm not gonna buy it, or maybe I am, could I still hear your NFT?
Yeah, absolutely. My NFT portfolio at the moment is on Terra Virtua. So it's a marketplace like OpenSea. The only difference is you can kind of not only hear it and see it, just like you can do on other platforms, but you can actually kind of go in and, have it in your own kind of fan cave or art gallery. And I think that's also it. We're going to be seeing marketplaces come up with, USPs or differential aspects, just a bit like an art gallery, right? So I think as things start to normalize, I think we'll end up going, art will stop, the conversation will stop being about, oh, how much is an NFT going to cost, rather than let's go to the best platform, the best marketplace to find the best artists that we can enjoy in the most different and experiential way.
Thank you. Grigory, right, you have a platform that is related to NFTs. So how the demand has changed over time since a couple of months ago till now?
I would say that for sure NFTs for long, and of course market situation impacted everybody, not only crypto, but also NFT market. And NFT will stay for long, and I agree with Mika who is saying that everything will be tokenized. And what we do, and actually we need to find also more use cases for NFTs and this utility for NFTs. That's what we do. And definitely there is a huge interest from the people about the utility NFTs. We even underestimated how big it will be. And also we need to understand that there is collectors investors and investors in NFT are relatively few compared to farmers and liquidity providers. And for those farmers and liquidity providers, we give extra opportunities to interact, to farm these NFTs, to consume these NFTs. So like we create this kind of new area of applications of NFTs, and there is personas who really need this.
Oh, thank you. And Gustavo, what do you have to say?
Well, everything has been said, really, but I'm just going to give you a perspective of a banker. In reality, what I see in this market of NFTs is, as everybody said, very early stages. I compare what's going on right now with the stages of ICOs. That's the way I see it. In reality, nobody knows what's going on. That's the reality. There's a total disconnection between techies and public or users. I had a chance to speak in just about every conference last week in Dubai. You know, it was very hectic here. And I realized how unfortunate situation is in which the public does not understand anything about NFTs, or very little. And even among techies, there are some huge discussions about what is it really, how we're going to use it, what are we going to do with it, etc. Someone talk about use cases right now. The main area that we're all talking about is art, but there is obviously a whole bunch of other areas where NFTs can be of use. So super early times, and if you look at you know, the comparison of platforms for NFTs right now in the web, you're going to find 20, 30 or more platforms, and you have no idea what they do or why are they different. So it is extremely early times, and I think there's going to take a while before we really settle in this market, and we're going to see a lot of changes in the months to come.
So what you're saying is that the next natural step would be educating people on NFTs, right?
There is the creators of these animals called NFT, and then there's the buyers, all right? There are two areas here that will compose the market. Those two areas are not talking the same language today. They don't understand it because it's quite new. Again, a little bit like the ICOs at the very early time where nobody knew what was going on. It's really a big mess, but it is a good mess because it's innovation. People are creating. So within a few months, perhaps, we're going to have a decantation of the markets. We're going to have only a few platforms performing the way the public wants, and the public will understand what is that these platforms are offering.
Okay, now to personal stories. Have you ever bought, I mean, we have Amrita, definitely she did create that, but have you ever bought or minted an NFT? Share your stories.
I'm happy to start. So, you know, I've really worked closely with some friends who are artists. And so I've been doing some minting on behalf of my friends. So, you know, I'm definitely, there was actually a wonderful incident where Dave McClure, who was the founder of 500 Startups, he actually tried to buy my friend's NFT on OpenSea, and you should have seen the string of curse words that came out of his mouth. Like, he just was totally shocked by how difficult it was to, you know, get a wallet and do all of the crypto things, right? So, you know, it is definitely early. The other area I wanted to just spotlight, though, is that there's an area in NFT gaming where things are actually growing incredibly fast. We have another portfolio company called Yield Guild Games, or YGG, and they're actually helping people in the Indonesia and the Philippines play to earn, right? So they're actually using NFTs for game pieces. And the thing that's really amazing about that is that, you know, they're onboarding normal gamers, right? Gamers who love Pokemon and who are not kind of crypto experts. And those people are starting to actually earn crypto by playing this game called Axie Infinity. So, you know, we think that engagement and gaming will be a gateway for a lot of people to enter not just NFT, but enter crypto in general. So, you know, we think that that's a really exciting development, and, you know, one that speaks to the utility that Greg was talking about.
Greg, by the way, sorry, Gustavo, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to come in on that. I fully agree. As a matter of fact, I am not minting myself, but some of my very close partners are doing that, and they have the same experience as being extremely complex at all levels, including wallets. But let's not forget that for most people in this world, even a wallet in crypto is just standard. So we're seeing a repetition of the same type of thing. So yes, the difficulty is right there. We're not yet there with the technology, and this is evolving very rapidly. That's what's happening.
I'm gonna go back to the difficulty a little bit later. Greg, have you personally bought or maybe minted an NFT?
Actually, I'm minting NFT on my platform. I'm supplying liquidity and minting NFTs. But also what we do in this week in Miami in Bitcoin conference, we had very cool decentralized art exercise where there was a space costume on one of my partners. And we asked to the top leaders in crypto industry who were here in Miami to write what is power on the costume. And then we will work further on this. The goal is by December to get everyone signed, even Mike Saylor and everyone. And then we will kind of cut this costume to the small parts with definitions what is power by these people, make NFTs, and then sell them on the platform, and all the money we give to the charity and computer education of the kids. So there's many things we do. I mean, it could be somehow we use this hype with NFT, but it helps still to do good things. And for example, the example which was the NFT sold for 68 million, all the money also went to charity, right? So yes, there is a hype. There is not too much real usage, but there is you still can get positive things out of this.
Yeah, that is true. Rita, could you share your experience as an artist? What it's like to create your own NFT? What kind of difficulties you came through to do that?
Well, I mean, I've so far I've minted on Terra Virtua, so I've not gone to any other marketplace at the moment, and it's been a very seamless process for me. And I think this is it. It's about again, let's take it out of the virtual world and put it back into the traditional world. Why do artists go and work with galleries? It's why does an artist choose a gallery to work with it? And it's making it very easy for artists, or making it seamless. And I think with going forward, I think there's so many artists, even now I'm getting so many artists asking me, how do I get into NFTs? How do I mint things? There's a lot of confusion. But even I would take one step back, is that even traditional artists who maybe are not very even techno into any kind of technology, they're finding the whole concept of NFTs something really hard for them to wrap their head around. So it's not just collectors who are finding it hard to understand why they would buy just a JPEG. It's the artists themselves who are also really confused by it. And so what I would say is just that having, choosing your right platform, choosing the right people to work with is very, very important for an artist. And I'm just also very blessed because, I put my initial collection up last year, and this week I've ended up selling all of my art is now gone off from the primary market. And that's also something that's really interesting for artists because, with what happens with NFTs is I've now sold all my artwork directly from myself, but now if that trades on the secondary market, as an artist, I will also get part of that, that sale that goes through. And so as my art grows and as, my presence grows within the community, I will also be remunerated, which is slightly different to the traditional art market, which is happening now as well. But it's something that gets locked into a smart contract and becomes very attractive for the artist. And I think collectors feel also good about the fact that artists also benefit while their career grows, rather than just a one-off when their career starts. If that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have mentioned different platforms. Obviously, Miko has a couple of them in his portfolio. We have mentioned that there is a certain level of difficulty to create your own NFT or to buy it. So my next question is a natural one. what kind of platforms there are. I know there's OpenSea, Rarible, and different other platforms that we have mentioned here before. And what we can do, by we, I mean the community, what we can do to make this process easier, and if it's even possible, right? So Gustavo, do you have any experience? I mean, obviously you've mentioned your friend, but do you have personal experience using NFT platforms? What kind of platforms, and how do you think we can change the level of difficulty and complexity?
Yeah, I would say if you look at any of these websites describing platforms, and you describe the way they portray themselves, first of all, anybody that is a normal person will understand very little. That's the first thing. They don't know how to communicate, all right? And this, but don't worry, this will improve. It will change. They will speak English in some time from now. So there are, I'm just looking here at a site that lists over 20 platforms. If you look at them, including OpenSea, by the way, it's one of them. If you look at them and try to differentiate among what they're offering, it's very, very difficult to understand what they're offering different. So I think right now what's happening is that all these platforms are fighting against each other to say, I'm the best, but they don't know what they're offering right now. So again, it is a situation where there's going to have to be a reconciliation between what platforms are offering and what the public is looking for. By the way, the public doesn't even know what it's looking for, neither for the moment. It's very, very interesting to see it. And when you give these presentations in the conference, you understand that. So I think that we're there. We have a whole bunch of horses on the starting line, and nobody knows which one is called what, or what is it going to be racing on. That is the situation. Now, this is going to become much better as the time goes forward, but that's the situation right now. We're all there. We're all there.
Fair enough. Miko, do you have something to say to that?
I really want to underline what Gustavo said. The horses, the platforms are like swimming pools, like a billiard table, like a horse racing track, and like a gymnasium. Like the platforms are kind of ridiculous. And I want to underline also what Gustavo said at the beginning, which is that there is a huge schism between the creators and the underlying platform. And I think the best way to notice this is that when you go even just to Hollywood, right? Like you look at these IP holders, right? The IP holders actually have very little kind of deeper sophistication around platform. And because of that, the platforms are highly fragmented, right? Like NBA will go with Dapper Labs, they're going to go Flow Blockchain, and so basically all of these different creators are just willy-nilly adopting platforms almost randomly, and because of that split, it's going to kind of perpetually be deeply fragmented on the platform basis, right? But I think people misunderstand platform, because when we talk about OpenSea, for example, OpenSea is actually platform neutral. So it doesn't matter if it's on like the Flow blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, or any other blockchain. Like OpenSea is able to go across all of those, right? So in a sense, like what we need to do is we need to kind of provide cross-chain experiences. And of course, the experience environments are crazily fragmented as well. So, we're going to see radical fragmentation in experiences and radical fragmentation in underlying blockchain technologies. And what we need to look for are experience environments like OpenSea that can be platform neutral. So that's my prognostication.
That's a very good point. Amrita or Grigory, do you have anything to add to that? Because we don't have a lot of time, but I have a lot of questions left.
I would say there is a gas fees also the problem, and there is switching to different blockchains compared to the Ethereum. One of the solutions. Of course, we discussed complicated for newbies how it is complicated, because artists, they are not crypto users, they don't know wallets. And one of the solutions what we try to do is gamification through card wars. So NFTs are cards, so like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, so with very simple interface, but it is very clear to the people, and they had experience with like normal games, so it's easy for them to start playing with NFT cards as well.
Just to follow up, so you've mentioned gas fees, right? So do you expect Ethereum gas fees to sort of go down with layer 2?
We already see it. Like we saw the layer 2 protocols launched, and like other blockchains like Solana or others, they take more people to their ecosystem, and you see that the gas fee is already like 10 times less than 1 month ago.
Amrita, I know you've said that you have only used one platform, right? But what do you think we need to do to make this process easier for everybody?
I mean, I think, you know, I think if you, it's a number of things. I think if you want to get, you know, the mass, or like I would say, you know, the physical world kind of getting, or more people adopting to it, I think you have to really, I agree what Greg said, is like, you've got to take it down to like a really simple level. I think we have to stop in a way. Okay, fine, now NFTs are here. It's a word that's now stuck, right? But I mean, almost make it so that it's so, you know, easy to collect. So it's stuff that they would be collecting in the real world, whether it's like, you know, baseball cards or little Pokemon characters or things that people can identify with, number one. Number two, you know, it needs to have almost the same user experience that you would do when you're checking out in Amazon or anything else, right? So you need to be able to see what you're buying. You'll be able to maybe look at it from different angles. You may be able to even put it into like a different environment for you to check it out, or that looks. So you need to be able to engage with the pieces as well. So I think what platforms need to do is just keep on, you know, creating different user experiences as well. How, once you do have an NFT, whether it's an artwork, whether it's a collectible, how do I view it? And as I said, I do think that being able to view it within a gallery, being able to view it in like a mock-up home where you can invite people over, all of these things, I think then it starts to increase the engageability of it, and then allows more users to come on board, basically.
Yeah, so I have a confession to make. I am very conservative when it comes to art, and I've been very critical about NFTs. So from my point of view and from a buyer's perspective, why would I choose to buy a digital art, you know, rather than to buy a physical one? If someone thinks the same way, please raise your hand. I'm kidding. But if you prefer digital, okay, you're here with me, right? So I'm not sure, why would I want to buy a digital art if I can actually own something physical? So Gustavo,
Let
me just perhaps start by saying what we're doing right now, so that will answer perhaps your question. I've been in the art business for many, many years, and my wife has been an art trader for 30 years right now. So we've been in this business for a while, although I'm a banker, that's the reality. So what we've done is we have collected a number of pieces that are, you know, from traditional artists like Picasso's, Modigliani's, Leonardo's, etc., directly from the owners. And those are the pieces that are going to go in our platform very, very soon. So that is traditional art. And as a matter of fact, the actual, the reality is that the pieces is going to be sold physically. They're going to be going directly to the buyers. It's going to be a digital representation, which is the NFT, but the physical art is going to go with it. So these are traditional art pieces that anybody can understand. Why is it that they're going through a platform like that? Simply because the market is much wider. If you do this through a traditional vendor of Picasso's or Leonardo's, you're only addressing yourself to a specific part of the possible market in this world. Going through, and it really gives you a global coverage. That's the reason why. So that's the reason why a buyer will go through a platform for this kind of pieces. However, the last thing I'd like to say is that the process of authentication of each one of these pieces and the origin of this one of these pieces remains exactly the same as you will do it in a traditional way. The moment you're going to put that piece in the market through this platform, they have to be authenticated and they have to be totally traceable, because that's the problem with the art market today, as you all know. So there's no difference at that part. The only part is when it goes on the NFT, but the physical piece goes to it. That can be understood by anybody who's buying art today.
Thank you, Gustavo. But I'm sorry, I'm still not convinced. I'd rather have a physical object. Amrita, I know you
No,
wanted
but you
to
will have the physical. You will have the physical object. Sorry, I don't know if you understood that. You buy a Picasso
Oh,
through this platform. You have a Picasso, physical.
yeah,
Right. I just want to
but
make sure you understood that.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
Amrita.
mean, to obviously sometimes, obviously, and to your point exactly, is that, you know, sometimes when you buy an NFT, okay, that's an exception that you also get the physical piece, but a lot of the
Yeah.
time when you buy an NFT, there's no physical piece coming with it.
Yeah.
And the way I would just encourage you to see it, and what I always say to people is just, it's how you look at it, right? How you perceive it. So, and it just does take a bit of an intrinsic shift of knowledge of knowing, you know, from physical to virtual. And I'll give you a good example. So your money, where's your money? In a bank somewhere, I assume, right? Or in crypto. Can you see that money? Can you hold that money?
Fair enough. No,
But you know that you own it, right? You know that you own that money. And if you'd gone back and told Robin Hood or whoever, you know, like hundreds of thousands of years, whatever, to say, you know, I'm going to take your money, that physical money that you are living off, that allows you to put food in your stomach, and I'm going to take that money, I'm going to put it far away that you can't see it, but I'm just going to tell you that you own it. They would look at you like you're crazy, right? So, and the same thing with photographs. Like, do you print off all your photographs?
No, I don't remember
No,
the
you
last
don't.
time I did it.
Now imagine tomorrow you go and lose your phone, and you lose all, like something messes up, you don't back it up. Look at that pain. That pain is real. But
Yeah.
those photos didn't ever physically exist. So my point is that we've made the move on such fundamentally important aspects of our lives, from physical to virtual. Why have we not made that same intrinsic knowledge of shift of knowledge from physical to virtual for art or other NFTs?
Okay,
Fully agree.
on my mind. Yeah, Miko.
Can I offer a slight contrarian view, right? Which is, it has to do with rights and the enforceability of your rights, right? So in essence, you should pay attention to that, right? Which is, what rights do I get? An NFT is a key. And when you buy a key, you have to ask yourself, what does the key unlock? Right? If the NFT unlocks a door to a hotel room, then you have a right. If it unlocks a rental car, you have a right. If it unlocks intellectual property ownership over a physical art asset, then you have a right, right? If you just buy an NFT and it sort of is abstract, you have no rights, right? And the question becomes, what is the framework that enforces those rights? Is it a legal framework? Or is it smart contracts that enforce those rights? So if you buy a game piece, then the game engine actually enforces the rights that you have associated with the game piece, right? So, you know, to me, you either have legal enforcement of your rights, right? So you have a contract that says, so for example, with the Beeple art, there's a huge legal contract that says the person has all kinds of rights, right? So, you know, Meta Kovan actually did buy something with rights. So the idea is that you're buying a key and you have to ask yourself, what does the key open? What do I get for this key? If you don't have a good answer for that, don't buy the key. If the key doesn't open anything, don't buy the key.
Okay, fair enough. Unfortunately, our time is up. But to conclude, right? So we are at a very early stage of the NFT market. The prices are gonna sort of be a little bit better, not so out of the out of nowhere. NFT platforms are difficult to use. Hopefully it's going to change. There's a level of complexity that goes with it, and cross blockchain experience is something that, and better UX UI experience is something that we might consider for the NFT minting process to be better. Unfortunately, the time is up, but if you have something to say, we have 1 minute. Who wants to say something?
Yeah,
Just
I'll say something.
Okay.
Just watch out for our new platform with incredible physical art, traditional artists, Leonardo's, Picasso's, Modigliani's coming out soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I enjoyed our panel very much, and thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for other panels.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you
very
so
much.
much.